So I will be talking just a few important points on this, okay? When we talk about prototyping, actually prototype can be used in many stages of the project, of the information system project. It could be even initial prototype design from the user, from the requirements, and actually you could have seen, I believe, from what you did in your project. Once you get a prototype, you could make the understanding of the requirements clearer. You know that, oh, what does it mean by making an appointment? What kind of data need to be filled in? What kind of data need to be maintained in the database and so on, okay? And actually, prototype is very important. Prototype or mock design of the UI is very important to communicate with the user, to get the acceptance, to get the feedback, to get more comments, details of what users want. So I would suggest in the future projects, actually, if you could make prototype in the very early, just the screen design, that can be very clear to understand. I mean, very clear, very efficient tool for communicating with the users in terms of requirements as well. Also, when we talk about UI design, it's not just the screen design of web-based application, mobile applications, or computerized system and so on. It could also, it involves also the form. Form means that the way to put in the data, right? When you have registration for users in your project, that is a kind of electronic form, right? To fill in the data into the system. So designing forms is part of the many of the information system as well. The same, once you have forms, you input the data, you want to display outputs. Outputs are in the form of, could be reports, could be graph, could be diagrams and so on. So business require a lot of reports. You only deal with some functionalities that is about making appointments, also about teleconferencing with the doctor. But actually, if we talk about business, they may want some management related, data analysis related, something that help the business to make decisions, right? If I am the owner of the hospital, apart from making the platform that allows doctor and users to communicate and consult, that's one thing, doctor and patients, sorry. But I also want to see how many patients are there, how much revenue generated, what are the peak load during the graph or something during the day, which kind of what time that patients use this consultation service more. Is it the daytime or is it the evening time after work? Usually we need to understand this, and to know this is through business report. Could be report in terms of, it's not paper report anymore, right? It's the report in the digital form. Okay, so we need to talk about the report as well. And I'm not sure in the part of your project, okay? Think about whether you have certain kind of reports or not. It could be, if it is for patients, yes, they may want to see their own statistics, health related. That kind of report could be there for patients. For doctor, of course, they may want to see the overall history of the patient or the way doctor perform. I'm not sure. Or in terms of, as I said, if I am the hospital management, I want to see the revenue. I want to see the peak load. I want to plan this and that better. Okay. So there are many types of reports you can think of, such as reports that are scheduled periodically at certain period of time, certain interval. This report needs to be produced, such as weekly report, monthly report, yearly report. There are, okay, or some key indicator report, some exception report, some report that allows you to drill down to seek more detail. Okay, this is pretty much analytical related report. And many times ad hoc report could be there, especially requested by the business management. Oh, I want to see this. I want to know how this and that relates, and so on. Okay. When we talk about forms and reports, then forms are for input, reports are for the output, right? So it should be a user-focused activity because these things are for users. Who are the user who inputs the form? You need to work with them, right? Make the form design friendly to them. Who are the users who use the reports? You work with them. You can, of course, put your own design idea and so on, but then those who need to be user focused and having some empathy, right? You need to know how difficult it is to use these forms you design and so on. Okay, and I think these are just more details when it is needed, the purpose, who are the main users, and so on. And these are just some suggestions, right? Everything you need when you design everything, the UI I saw in that is why just few days on Monday I commented as well some of your UI. If it doesn't have the title, if it doesn't have meaningful icons, titles, labels, it's really difficult for user to know what it is about. Okay, so make sure it has meaningful title information, and then the design is balanced, okay, and so on, easy to navigate as well. And some highlight, some information, warning, and so on. So I will just go very quick, okay. Usage of color is also important, not only for aesthetics purpose, but also for the usability for the user too. Okay, proper text display, professional look, and also easy to read and use. These are the things. Something like this, you have everything you want, but this is also not what the user would want, right? And so on. Okay, as I said, there are many things, but they are just very straightforward. So please read these slides by yourself, okay? And graphical representation or visualization is also important nowadays, and then they are easy, right? So instead of tabular format, you may think about graphical format, dashboard. I think I saw several of these designs in some mock-up you have last time as well. But again, we will talk about the usability.